Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone can hear me on the Zoom call. We've got great attendance here, which is fantastic. I just wanted to very quickly introduce myself. My name is Kevin Cullen. I'm the Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum, Instruction, and Special Education. Very excited that you're all joining us tonight for Kindergarten Information Night as we prepare for a successful 2025-2026 school year, and then, of course, beyond. And I think what you're going to hear tonight is who we are and what we stand for, which I say on a regular basis is excellence. Here in Middletown Township, we do our very best in every endeavor without any exception. And I think you'll hear that when we start speaking about our programs and what we do for our students every day in these student-centered environments where we promote curiosity, where we promote engagement, and where we try to support the development of enthusiastic lifelong learners who are prepared for success in the future. So without further ado, I am going to turn over the presentation to Tara Responti. She is the principal of Bayview Elementary School. And from there, you'll hear from a series of administrators and our head nurse about the registration process and our kindergarten program. So thank you very much for joining us. Again, I am recording this so that we can post it to our website. And if you have any questions as we go through our presentation tonight, please put that question into the chat. We will download those questions and we will answer them and post them to our district's registration page in the coming days. Thank you again for joining us. And here is Mrs. Responti from Bayview Elementary School.
Good evening, everyone. Okay, I'm going to start. I don't see the slides, Mr. Cullen. Is that okay that I'm not seeing the slides? Let's see. I just see
We'll
you.
see the slides momentarily.
Oh, perfect. Okay. There we go.
Mr. Cullen, I just want to bring to your attention, somebody in the chat said more people are trying to get in, but it's stating that it's at max capacity. I just wanted to share that was in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to start by doing an introduction of building principals and supervisors. So I will start off by talking about we do have a bunch of building principals and supervisors that you will all meet when you decide and when you're coming to kindergarten. But we will go to tonight's presentation and we will talk about the people that will be presenting tonight. So I am Tara Responti. I am the principal at Bayview Elementary School. Usually Cindy Wilson is my right-hand girl. Unfortunately, she is under the weather today. So I will bring you through what to expect in kindergarten. We also will have Jessica Ritz, who's unable to join us for the lunch school program, the school lunch program. So I too will go through those slides with you. As far as student services go, you will listen to Rose Skellion, Danielle Schreck, and supervisors of special education. You will also hear some information from Fran Taylor, our head nurse in Middletown. You will learn about the online registration process through Susan Calabro. And also you will learn about Parent Portal and report cards through Susan Calabro, our data systems manager. Okay, this is one of my favorite slides because I feel like it could get all of our kinders ready for their first few days and beyond. So just some things for you to know that we do an ESIK, an Easy K screening, which will take place in spring or the fall, and we will get that information out to you. So that date will be determined. And here are some things that as an early childhood educator and beyond that I think are important. One of the main things is to have fun reading with your kids. Try and make reading a habit every single night, kind of like brushing your teeth or having your kids brush their teeth. Getting that time to engage in books with your children is very important. Another good thing is recognize math and real world concepts. When you're in the kitchen, point things out. It's so important to count, count, count. Have kids count forward and backwards, count different objects. When you're driving or if you're eating food, anything like that, point out patterns to children, whether it's on clothing or on the calendar, and do things like which shapes, building blocks, pointing out shapes more often. These are concepts that will help them be prepared for the math curriculum that we will implement. Another important thing is to teach students important phone numbers. Point that or just post it on your refrigerator and have them memorize it. It will definitely help them. Self-help independent skills, helping them know how to wash their hands, toileting, zipping their coats up and down will make them feel successful and confident in kindergarten as well. Something that I know is so hard, number 6, because our schedules are so busy, but a supportive schedule with a consistent daily routine is so important for our children entering full day school. And I like to mention sleep, how important it is to get a good sleep schedule down. Number 7 is eat dinner together. Again, I know we are so busy with our lives, but that part of the day, if we can fit it in, is so important. It builds relationships. Our little kinders will be able to hear you have great conversations, taking turns, and it also helps them with knowing that this is a safe place where they can come and tell you things that have happened for their day. Number 8 is expand on language. Oh, the importance of storytelling, having kids understand beginning, middle, and end. If you can, label items, point out the names of certain things, explore sounds. There's nothing better than a nursery rhyme, and hearing that sound over and over again with letters is super helpful. Number 9 is play games, promote winning and losing, and most importantly, turn taking. Certain games also promote one-to-one directionality, which is super important when we begin the reading process. Play every day, my favorite, especially outside, and avoid screen time. And lastly, practice tracing and cutting using markers, crayons, and thick pencils often are important. All right, let's get on to our general school information. So our general school information is here. And I say general because every single school in Middletown, it's a little different, but these are the things that we keep the same. As for school hours, 8:55 to 3:05 p.m. is the elementary school hours here in Middletown. Drop-off begins at 8:40 a.m. and dismissal begins at 3:05 p.m. each day. When we have an early dismissal time, it is 1:10 for all the elementary schools. We provide before and after school care through the Y, and that begins at 7 in the morning and goes to 6 p.m. All information for the Y, you can go to their website, and I will talk about that further in some of our other slides. We do provide parent-teacher conferences. They're held in January, and they're reserved through the Genesis Parent Portal. But what we like to say is you can always reach out to your child's teacher if you have any concerns prior. School lunches served each day is through Whitson's, and students are issued a lunch ID number. I will show you through future slides, but you will be able to prepay through that account, which is super helpful if you decide to order lunch. All right, our next slide is an example of the kindergarten schedule. It is a very busy, as Mr. Cullen said, we are all about discovery-based, getting kids to be curious about learning. We have interventions and integrated centers where kids can be hands-on and learn through play. During literacy, we have reading and writing. And at this moment, we are focusing more on the Orton-Gillingham program, and the kids are loving it. We have science and lunch, recess, and snack. Oh, I skipped social studies, excuse me. We have science and social studies, lunch, recess, snack, mathematics, and we also do special subject areas. So we are on a 6-day rotation basis, and your kinders will be exposed to phys ed, health, Spanish art, music, and digital learning. All that will be 40 minutes. All right, so I am going to talk to you a little bit about the food service program. Breakfast and lunch is served at all 11 of our elementary schools. There's paid breakfast, it's $2 a day. Paid lunch is $3.75 a day, and free and reduced meals do not cost anything. Please know that the free and reduced meal applications are available online in the food service section of the middletown12.org website. So you can find that there. And if you are interested, it's so important that you fill that out. During the regular school day, daily lunch options include 2 daily hot specials, 1 weekly cold special, 1 weekly salad special, additional daily cold options such as bagel, cereal, and muffin lunch, hot and cold vegetable specials, daily fresh fruit, and juice specials. Food service menus are right on our website, so you can always go on there to review what the menu will be. And the nutrition information is also there. If you have any questions about the food service program, Jessica Ritz is lovely. She will answer your questions. You may contact her through the email below. And I do know that there's always the question, do kids have to order lunch through Whitson's? And no, you can bring in your own lunch from home as well. So this is what the page looks like for you to click, and you can put money into the Pay Schools account. Again, this is super important. We don't need our kinders or any of the kids carrying money around. They can lose it. Using this is perfect. Okay, so next up is the Student Support Services staff. We have Mrs. Jennifer Granger. She's the District Director of Special Education. Mrs. Rose Scullion, Supervisor of Special Education, Pre-K through 5 for Fairview, Harmony, Middletown Village, New Monmouth, and Ocean Avenue. And we have Mrs. Danielle Schreck, Supervisor of Special Education, K through 5 for Bayview, Leonardo, Lincroft, Navesink, Nutswamp, and River Plaza.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Rose Scullion, and like Mrs. Responti said, I am one of the supervisors of special education here in Middletown Township. Next slide, please. So I just wanted to come on this evening and just speak a little bit about all the various supports that we can offer students here in Middletown Township. Like Mr. Cullen said at the very beginning, here in Middletown Township, we believe in excellence. And because of that, we offer a variety of supports for all of our students here. In accordance with New Jersey Administrative Code, we offer the least restrictive environment for students to be successful in, and we strongly believe in an inclusive setting. In the general education classroom, we have a variety of staff that can help support our students both academically and socially and emotionally. So some of those supports are, we have school counselors, we have staff that can give us some student behavior supports, we have reading development teachers and math specialists that can help support students that might be struggling to read or achieve in math. They are heavily involved in what's called the multi-tiered system of support, which means that the classroom teachers are always carefully monitoring student progress. And if they notice students struggling, they have either a math specialist or a reading specialist that they can contact and consult with to tailor the instruction more to meet student needs. And there are varying levels of support that those specialists can give to students. If students are identified as needing support, they participate in the INRS process. And as a parent, you are highly encouraged to participate in that process, because we come together as a team to do whatever we can to make those students successful. If it's deemed that your child does need special education, we have case managers in every building, and we have, those case managers work with other related service providers to, develop individualized education plans for students. We offer in our district a variety of related services such as speech, occupational therapy, and physical therapy. If at any point you need any supports or need more information, please feel free to contact myself or Miss Danielle Schreck, and we are more than happy to help you.
Okay, next up is Fran Taylor. She is going to give us some information on health services.
Hi, everybody. I apologize for the blank screen. I'm having trouble getting my video to operate this evening, but welcome to kindergarten. It's certainly an exciting time. I'm just going to go over the basics of your registration. In order to register your child, you will have to upload a copy of their immunization records and a physical exam done from your healthcare provider after July 1st of the previous year. It's a standard growth and development form. It's all pretty, your pediatrician will know exactly what to do with all of that. If you ever have any trouble with anything, you will reach out to the school where your child is going, their nurse, and she will totally help you get everything on board. Our medication policy, if your student is taking a prescribed medication, we need a prescription from the physician in order for the school nurse to administer to your child. We do have over-the-counter medications that can be administered, which is your basic acetaminophen, ibuprofen, Benadryl, and Tums. That's simply a form that you sign and turn into your school nurse. Return to school after communicable illnesses. This is very important, especially in times where right now we have a lot of flu going on and things of that nature. So in order for your student, if they've been diagnosed with strep throat, you will need a note from your physician returning that child back to school. Any PE excuses, particularly if your child's on crutches, we will need another note from your doctor stating that they require crutches to be in the school. Next screen. These are screenings we do. Everything's different for every year, but in kindergarten, we do all of these things: height, weight, blood pressure, vision, hearing. Scoliosis is later, but in the beginning, we want to get a baseline on your students so that we know if in kindergarten the blood pressure was this, in first grade if it's different, we have a baseline. So that's a really good service we have. Next. Food allergies. If your student is allergic to any food, you will want to contact your school nurse ahead of time. It's particularly if they have the EpiPen. So this is a hot topic because with student birthdays and foods coming in, it's dangerous for some students to be exposed to other things. So that's something you want to go by with your school, check with your school nurse. Some people will have, some of the nurses have you bring in any ingredients for something and they check through it. It all kind of depends. It's a little different for each student in each grade, but that's something your school nurse will be able to help you with along the way. Contact information, really important. Keep all your contact information up to date in Genesis, because I can tell you from experience, there's been many times a phone number changes and we're trying to reach out to a parent for a sick student and we don't have the current number. So every year, that's something you just want to make sure you look at and make sure everything is up to date. If your child is going to be absent, you're going to call the school and just let them know basically why, if it's just sick or if it's something of a contagion, because then we can reach out and help you with anything you need to know after that. Next. We are not only here for the students, but we are here for you too. During holiday times, we have certain programs. We have holiday programs. If you're never in need of assistance, you will get notified of those things and there'll be links. So all of this, at any time during the school year, if you are having difficulty with anything, even if it's getting immunizations, if it's you're having trouble with, if you're having trouble with, supplying the basic needs for your child, we have a lot of programs in our district and they're really helpful. So all you would do is reach out to your school nurse and she will help you and guide you through all of that.
Thank you, Miss Fran. Next up, we have Susan Calabro, Data Systems Manager.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Susan Calabro. I'm in charge of registration for the district and is also data systems, which includes the Genesis database, which you'll be using once your child is enrolled in school. So this slide here goes over the kindergarten registration process and what documents we require. As part of the process, when you're registering your student, you will have to upload these documents. You should have them readily available when you begin registration. You can save your registration and come back at a later date. But like I said, if you have them right then and there, it will make the process much quicker. I do want to reiterate that the registration will open on Monday. I believe it's February 3rd. The registration process is a quick, simple process as long as you are prepared and have all your documents. All of these documents are also listed on the district website. So if you want to take a look ahead of time, as well as go through this video, it will also be listed. It will be very helpful that you're prepared. Supplemental documents that you can include at the time of upload are any custody documents that you may have that you feel are important to your student, any IEP 504 documentation, individualized healthcare plans. They will be forwarded to the nurses, but you can upload them at the time of registration. If your child was receiving English language learner services in another district perhaps, or is in the need of services, you can indicate that also on the registration. These are the documents that are required for proof of residency for homeowners in the district. The documents required on the next slide, which are renters, are slightly different, but again, they can also be viewed on the district website. Next slide, please. Next slide. Anyone who has living arrangements that differ from the items that we have up on the screen that are required for homeowners and renters, you can contact the registrar directly at the email provided, and the registrar will reach out to you to have a meeting so you can go over any documentation that we require. So next slide, please. When you go to register your student, the registration link is right on the front page of the Middletown website, middletownk12.org. There is a registration link down at the bottom. Once you click on that link, it's going to take you to this page. This is the start of our registration system, which is tied to our Genesis database, which is our student information system. Next slide. Once you register, the registrar will review all of your documentation. It will be approved, or if she requires any additional documentation, the registrar will reach out to you directly. Once you are approved for registration, you will receive an email in the summer, probably late July, with login information for the Genesis Parent Portal. The Parent Portal is a document-based system that we use where we house all of our report cards, all of our attendance, your student schedule. As you can see on the screen, it just gives you a brief summary of what's available in the portal. We also have report cards that are housed there, any type of notifications. There is one important thing also housed on the portal. If your student is eligible for busing information, the bus will be on the portal prior to the start of school, usually the last week of August. Next slide, please. This is important to note. While we have existing pre-K students in the district, we consider pre-K students as those attending Fairview, Harmony, Middletown Village, Ocean Avenue. That does not include Little Eagles and Little Lions. Those are programs within our district. They are not pre-K schools. So if your student is attending one of the schools that I mentioned, again, Fairview, Harmony, Middletown Village, or Ocean Avenue, they do not need to register online again. What you will need to do is provide updated documentation for immunizations and an updated physical form to the nurse at the school that your child will be attending. You will also be receiving shortly information sheet, requesting to advise us if you are intending to continue from pre-K to K. Next slide.
Okay, this is me again. There are some frequently asked questions that we know that new parents would like more information about. We use a standards-based report card, and that is how we keep our grades in order. As far as security drills go, all elementary schools do 2 security drills per month, and we will inform you of one of those security drills. Oh, I'm not done yet, Mr. Cullen. There we go. Okay. Please make sure with the Genesis parent portal, please make sure your email and phone numbers are up to date, and also emergency contacts, because this is the main way for us as a school to communicate with you. As Miss Fran said, birthdays, they're celebrated differently at each school without food. Arrival and dismissal at each school are safe, but a little different at each building. All kinders have 30 minutes for lunch, and as mentioned earlier, there's an option to bring lunch or to buy. Kinders also get a daily snack break, and recess occurs every day. And kindergarten orientations will be set up at each school for either late August or early September, and that is when you will be able to see your child's homeschool. All right, our next slide. Always refer to the district website to review the district calendar and other information for the first day of school. Very important place, and you can find a lot of information. To determine whether you qualify for busing, please call transportation at central office. They will be able to help you. Currently, we have security guards and class 3 officers at every building. And students who are attending preschool at Fairview, Harmony, Middletown Village, or Ocean Avenue and will be 5 years old by October 1st, 2025, do not need to re-register for kindergarten for the 25-26 school year. Update all health forms and vaccinations, though. Please make sure they are updated. Here's the information for before and after care, and questions can be answered through the Y, and there's their information. And also all curriculum information can be found on the district website. And we know that what happens in kindergarten lasts a lifetime, so we will promise to make kindergarten fun, safe, and make sure your kinders are loved at their first experience here in Middletown. Thank you, everyone, for joining this evening.
Thank you, everyone, again for joining this evening, and thank you to our presenters. Again, we're looking forward to a fantastic 2025-2026 school year in all of our kindergarten classrooms and across our district's campuses. Thank you so much for joining. Have a great night.